A very good afternoon to you all. So by show of hands, if you've not been able to get a cup of coffee, a snack out there, raise your hands. I'll call someone. I'll call someone to look after you. If you've been in Uganda long enough, you may be familiar with the concept of gamba nogu. I can fix a few things for you. Okay? Okay, so yeah, let's get some energy in the room because this meeting is about energy and the mineral sector. So our curator for the event, chairman, representatives from government, representatives from different development partners and from the private sector. Good afternoon to you. My name is Apollo. I work with the Private Sector Foundation Uganda. I'm just here to take over from what the previous speakers have shared with us. And we've had an amazing time since morning. I just felt that the previous speakers and panelists labored to share with us information about just the opportunity, the size of opportunity we have in our country within the energy and mineral sector. And it's amazing. So my job within the next 10 minutes is to talk about a critical missing piece of the puzzle, which is financing. So where will this financing, where could it potentially come from? And back to the issue about opportunity within Uganda, I think within the Private Sector Foundation, we have started pursuing or looking at opportunity with a different lens. So that when we're looking at our country, we're not only looking or thinking within our borders and our small population. We are aware that we are part of a much bigger game, and that game could be looked at as East Africa. And when you look at the population figures for East Africa, close to 6% of the world right now is either resident in East Africa or will be doing business within East Africa. We are a big game. Now, why that's important for you is that it's important for you to realize, at least we know from a Private Sector Foundation perspective, a number of businesses will be based in Uganda, especially businesses that represent the Great Lakes region. What that means is that when we are talking about the appetite, the energy appetite for industries and for enterprises, we are looking at it with a much wider lens, not only enterprises that are based, not only Ugandan enterprises, we are also getting prepared for the next level. That there'll be a number of enterprises that will be represented in our country. They'll be resident in Uganda, doing business in Uganda, processing, packaging, shipping across our borders. Now, that is going to put a very huge demand on our energy resources, and so we need to think about that. But that notwithstanding, the speakers before us, or myself, talked about the opportunity available. It's immense, and like one of the speakers said, the landscape, the energy and mineral landscape is investment ready. It is waiting for us. And within the Private Sector Foundation, we are a member-based organization. We represent over close to 300 different business associations. One of them is the Uganda Chamber of Mines and Petroleum. They are our member. And it is out of that we have an interest in this meeting. Within that also, within PSFU, we have worked in partnership with the World Bank previously under the Energy for Rural Transformation project, and we're currently working in partnership with the Embassy of Sweden, SNV Uganda, and Makerere University on the Inclusive Market for Energy Efficiency in Uganda project. And that's just the beginning, because we realize as we push for business growth, which is what we're all about, that comes in tandem with a high demand for energy. And that's why we're part of this discussion. How can we make sure that we have adequate resources for renewable energy within our country? Within that, we had a discussion with members of our members within the private sector to ask them, what is the biggest issue that you'd like us to solve that is catalytic in nature, that if we touch it, it could potentially give us fast growth. And they said, as PSFU, focus on access to finance. And we, as a result of that, have put together a financing vehicle, which is called the Private Sector Catalytic Fund, with an ambition to set up a fund that is worth $1 billion. We have been fortunate to work in partnership with the MasterCard Foundation that believed in our dream to set up this facility, and they have supported us all the way. We have had the opportunity to work with a wide cross-section of Ugandans, because the private sector said it is time for Uganda to build a fund that is Ugandan-driven and Ugandan-owned, one that appreciates the local challenges that our Ugandan businesses go through. And so with that ambition, we have so far received a nod from an anchor partner who has indicated that they will be able to support us with a fund of close to $300 million. We're in the process of identifying other partners. So my job this afternoon in the next 5 minutes is just to run you through what this facility is about. Okay, so let me just get into that, about this facility. Why are we going this far to think about this facility? I think from what we heard from members of the private sector, it is important that we put in place a financial facility that is driving patient capital within our country, and this patient capital is also affordable. This is one of the challenges that we've been dealing with in our country, cost of capital. So I'm just going to move out to that screen. Can you hear me? Okay, so the ambition is to make sure that we set up that is catalytic in nature, that first and foremost can drive job creation, because we have a challenge of high youth in our country. But most importantly, set up a fund that drives enterprise. We are not interested in working with grantpreneurs. That's not our ambition. We are interested in working with bankable businesses. Businesses that have tested our market, as our previous speakers were talking about. They have taken the step of investing in exploration. You have not, actually it's not taking a step, you have taken the risk of investing in exploration. That shows us that you believe in yourself and your business. And perhaps the next level of support that you require is in benefication. Did I get that right? Beneficiation. So I'm a good student. Okay, so yeah, so you're moving to the next level, which is beneficiation. Those are the kind of businesses that we will be working with. And most importantly, this facility, we will not be implementing directly. It is going to be a fund of funds, so that we can establish scale at a fast rate. We are already aware that we have funds within our country that we can work and through. Those facilities may include commercial banks that we can work in partnership with to de-risk the facilities that they have in place, and to also reduce their cost of capital that is going to the last mile consumer of the energy product or an energy service company. we will be working through this facility to make sure that we build or work with businesses within the energy and mineral sector that have very strong governance structures in place that can represent our country. Thank you. We're also looking for businesses that are market-driven. They are not going to disrupt the market in a negative manner. So we're going to pay a lot of attention to that. Most importantly, it's a facility that's been developed by your fellow Ugandans to make sure that it speaks to our local needs. And the last and most important thing is that we're looking at sustainability. And on the topic of sustainability, that's where the energy issue comes in. So that is our ambition. We know within the energy sector, just for the ambition alone, we had that as a country, I think I had 52,000 megawatts of power required by 2040. By 2042. 42,000. Okay, thank you very much. Just wanted to make sure that we are together. Good, so it's 42,000. That's our ambition. And with that comes a steep requirement for capital. And we are also aware in other industries, especially around petroleum, just the amount of investment required over the next couple of years gets into the bracket of close to 15 billion USD. Okay? So there is a lot happening within our country. And this facility is targeting that level of ambition. And we know that we're going to develop it in partnership with you. And so we have the benefit of getting a lot of support and advice from our members who are under the arm of Chamber of Mines and Petroleum. We're working together with them. Through these bodies, we will be able to identify companies, as it were, or service providers that we can work in partnership with to ensure that energy, renewable energy, green energies are distributed to the last mile. I want to conclude by just talking about someone I met earlier on a few minutes ago. This is Alan Musingusi. Alan, please stand up where you are. Alan is into energy monitoring. Please remain standing. I want to blow your trumpet. Okay, so Alan represents some of the energy service companies that we will be looking to work with. Because through companies like Alan's company, EML, we can bankroll technical services, so it's not only about financing. Within this facility, we'll also be investing in technical services that may be required by the last mile. We know in our country, sometimes access to technical services can be quite steep in price, especially when you're dealing with people like Alan. So Alan, people like Alan, we can work in partnership with them. Not can, we will work in partnership with energy service companies to reduce the cost of doing business so that last mile consumers of energy could be industries that require to change or to upgrade their technologies, to make their technologies greener, friendlier, more affordable, less costly on the size of their businesses. We will be bankrolling such services so that the person that Alan is serving does not have to bear that cost. We want them to focus on doing what they do best. For us, we will work in partnership with Alan to make sure that he also does what he does best. So, yeah, Alan, you can take a seat. Hopefully you pay me for this advert at the right time. I'd like to pause here. I know there will be a number of questions, but my role this afternoon really is to share with you our ambition. Now, we are also aware that within the private sector, the energy space, there is need to catalyze the availability of results-based funding. So some of these things we'll also be looking at under this facility, again with the right partners that we need to work with. The most important thing is we are not looking for ways in which to disrupt the market negatively. Where we can also work in partnership with commercial banks, who are our members under Uganda Bankers Institute, we will work in partnership with them to craft products for the energy sector that are more patient and more targeted towards the energy sector. So it is through those mechanisms that we will be driving sustainability, so that when we are done with whatever it is that we are supposed to do, these vehicles, as it were, continue running, and they'll be run by members of the private sector whose job it is to make them move. So I'd just like to close by a call to action. If you are listening in to us, maybe you're in the room, maybe you're joining us online, would like you to join us in this campaign. Would like you to begin to look at Uganda as the next big thing. The next big thing that is going to give you your next big check, especially if you're in the energy and mineral sector space. Thank you very much for listening to me. I don't know if there's time to take a question or two. Well, yes, sorry? Of course we can. Thank you very much for listening to me.